Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope we're doing great today. Happy Saturday. We've got 15 matchups on this MLB slate today, so be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my betting links in the description below to get in on the action here. Turn on those notification bells, and yeah, we'll hop in it. Huge slate today. Starting with the Chicago White Sox versus the Houston Astros. Astros opening up as home favorites at -125. The White Sox plus 115 with the over-under at 8. Both teams 1-1. Both teams beating each other. Pitching for the White Sox is Lucas Giolito. And then pitching for the Astros is Jose Urquidy. Giolito did pitch twice against the Astros last season. Gave up 7 and 8 runs. He had a pretty rough year last year. Urquidy pitched one time against the White Sox. Only gave up 1 run. Had a pretty solid season. Giolito giving up a lot of runs here. Not in love with it. Astros had a good day yesterday, winning 6-3. Looked pretty solid after that bad first loss. And the White Sox are just 2-9 on the road against Houston. I like the Astros today. Looked good yesterday. Showed some life. And Giolito, very rough on the mound last season. We'll see how, new year, we'll see what happens here. But I think I'm going to lean with the Astros at home. Next matchup, we got the Toronto Blue Jays versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Toronto opening up as road favorites at -130. St. Louis plus 120 with the over-under at 8. Blue Jays 1-0. Cardinals 0-1. Pitching for the Blue Jays is Kevin Gausman. Pitching for the Cardinals is Jack Flaherty. We've got Gausman did pitch twice last year against the Cardinals, only allowing 5 runs. Flaherty didn't pitch against them, but his last 2 starts on the mound gave up 6 runs. Toronto winning 10-9. I mean, what a scoring fest that was in yesterday's game. That was a shootout. Maybe the over might be again in play here today. It's a tough one here. I like both teams. You're going to get a lot of these tough matchups where you can just go either way. In a shootout like yesterday, man, it is just tough. I think I'm going to lean with Toronto on the road. I don't hate the Cardinals plus 1.5. I mean, they covered yesterday. But I think I'm going to lean with the Blue Jays on the road. I like Gausman a little bit more in this matchup. Next matchup, we got the Milwaukee Brewers versus the Chicago Cubs. Brewers opening up as road favorites at -125. Chicago plus 105 with the over-under at 6.5. Brewers 0-1. Cubs 1-0. Pitching for the Brewers is Brandon Woodruff. Pitching for the Cubs is Justin Steele. Woodruff pitched 3 times against the Cubs last season. Gave up 9 runs in 3 starts. Isn't horrible. Justin Steele pitched 3 times last season against them. Only gave up 2 runs. Pitched very well last year, especially towards the end of the season. Cubs winning 4-0 in their opener against the Brewers. And Milwaukee 1-5 on the road against the Cubs. I think Cubs are another good underdog today. Look good in the opener, and that's what the Brewers do, man. They're always favorites like every game, and they really don't come through a lot. And I'm going to take the Cubs plus 1.5 at home. Next matchup, we've got the Atlanta Braves versus the Washington Nationals. Braves opening up as road favorites at -245. The Nationals plus 210 with the over-under at 8. Braves 1-0. Nationals 0-1. Pitching for the Braves is Spencer Strider. Pitching for the Nationals is Josiah Gray. Strider did pitch twice against Washington last season, giving up 7 runs. Gray only giving up 1 run. Actually played pretty well towards the end of the year there. But Atlanta winning 7-2 against Washington in the opener. Looked very good. and 17-2 on the road against Washington. I mean, they're pretty dominant against Washington here, and loved what I saw in the opener from the Braves, and I think I'm going to take the Braves on the road. Next matchup, we get the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Texas Rangers. Philly opening up as road favorites at -125. Texas +115 with the over-under at 7.5. Phillies 0-1. Rangers 1-0. Pitching for the Phillies is Zach Wheeler. Pitching for the Rangers is Nathan Eovaldi. Wheeler pitched twice last year against the Rangers, only giving up 2 runs. Eovaldi didn't play against them. Didn't pitch against the Phillies, but his last 2 starts on the mound gave up 6 runs against the Astros. Nothing too crazy. Philly, did losing 11-7 in their opener. Were able to hit, but Texas looked really good in their opener. And with no Bryce Harper for Washington, I think it'll be a little bit rough on their rotation for a bit. And I liked what I saw out of Texas. Philly 0-8 on the road against Texas. 0-10 straight up against Texas here. I think I'll take a shot with the Rangers +1.5 at home. Next matchup, we got the San Francisco Giants versus the New York Yankees. Yankees opening up as home favorites at -140. The Giants +120 with the over-under at 8.5. Giants coming into this matchup 0-1. The Yankees 1-0. Pitching for the Giants is Alex Cobb. Pitching for the Yankees is Clark Schmidt. Alex Cobb, his last 3 starts on the mound, giving up 1, 4, and 5 runs. So he's given up 10 runs in his last 3 starts. Schmidt given up 6 runs in his last 3 starts. Yankees looked very good in their opener, winning 5-0. A nice shutout against the Giants. Giants 0-5 against the Yankees. I liked what I saw from the Yankees in the opener. I mean, Aaron Judge looked great. The team looked great. I think I'm going to take the Yankees at home. Next matchup, we got the Los Angeles Angels versus the Oakland Athletics. Angels opening up as road favorites at -170. Oakland +140 with the over-under at 7.5. Angels coming into this matchup 0-1. Oakland 1-0. Pitching for the Angels is Patrick Sandoval. Pitching for the A's is Shintaro Fujinami. Sandoval, his last 3 starts, only given up 4 runs, pretty well last season. Fujinami given up 5 runs in his last 3 starts. And Angels, man, just Ohtani played a great game in the opener, and they just couldn't help him out. That happened a lot last season. And you look at these last 5 games they've played Oakland dating back to last season. They're on a 4-game losing streak, and it's all been to Oakland, which is crazy. And they just can't beat Oakland for whatever reason. And they couldn't beat them with Ohtani. I think I'm going to take the A's +1.5 at home. Next matchup, we got the Baltimore Orioles versus the Boston Red Sox. Boston opening up as home favorites at -165. Baltimore +135 with the over-under at 9. Baltimore 1-0. Boston 0-1. Pitching for Baltimore is Dean Kramer. Pitching for the Red Sox is Chris Sale. We've got Kramer pitched 3 times against Boston last season. Gave up 8 total runs, so nothing too crazy. Chris Sale's last 3 starts on the mound, he's given up 6 runs. Another shootout in the opener. Baltimore winning 10-9. I mean, that game could have went either way there. And Baltimore kind of just picking off where they left off last season. Had a great year last year. Very underrated. They have struggled against Boston, despite the fact they did win against Boston. And I just like what I saw from Baltimore. And I don't think Baltimore's going to bow down to anyone. They can hit just as good as anyone. I'm going to take the Orioles +1.5 on the road. Next matchup, we've got the Detroit Tigers versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay opening up as home favorites at minus 185. Detroit plus 155 with the over-under at 7.5. Detroit 0-1. Tampa 1-0. Pitching for the Tigers is Spencer Turnbull. Pitching for the Rays is Zach Eflin. Turnbull didn't pitch at all last season, so we're going to see what he does here today. Eflin, his last few games he's given up not 10 runs, not the greatest on the mound. Detroit did lose to Tampa 4-0 in their opener. Tampa looked very good in that shutout win, and Detroit 1-6 against Tampa, 4-13 on the road against Tampa. Don't really trust Turnbull. We have no idea what he's going to look like, and I think I'm going to roll with the Rays at home. Next matchup, we've got the Minnesota Twins versus the Kansas City Royals. Twins opening up as road favorites at minus 160. Kansas City plus 135 with the over-under at 8.5. Pitching for the Twins is Sonny Gray. Pitching for the Royals is Jordan Lyles. Twins are 1-0. Royals 0-1. Sonny Gray, last 3 games against Kansas City, only allowed 1 run. Played very well against the Royals. Lyles pitched 1 time against Minnesota last season, only gave up 1 run. And yeah, Minnesota looked good in their shutout loss, winning 2-0. Played very well. They're 8-3 against Kansas City. And yeah, I like what I saw from Minnesota. Royals really couldn't do nothing in their opener. I do like Sonny Gray on the mound, who's been really good against the Royals. And I think I'm going to take the Twins on the road. Next matchup, we got the New York Mets versus the Miami Marlins. Mets opening up as road favorites at minus 125. Miami plus 110 with the over-under at 7.5. Both teams are 1-1. Pitching for the Mets is Tyler Megill. Pitching for the Marlins is Edward Cabrera. Tyler Megill, his last 3 starts, been rough for him. He's given up 14 runs in his last 3 starts. Cabrera only given up 6. And yeah, both teams swapping games. Miami winning 2-1 after losing 3-5 in their opener. I thought this is going to be a back and forth series here, and probably going to be pretty hard to bet on here the way both teams have looked so far. I think I'm going to take the Marlins plus 1.5 at home. I think it's just going to be that kind of series here, and I'd feel much better taking the points. So we'll take Marlins plus 1.5. Next matchup, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates versus the Cincinnati Reds. Reds opening up as home favorites at minus 150. The Pirates plus 135 with the over-under at 8.5. Pitching for the Pirates is Rich Hill. Pitching for the Reds is Nick Lodolo. Pirates are 1-0. The Reds 0-1. Rich Hill, his last 3 starts, he's only given up 5 runs. Lodolo's given up 5 as well. Pirates, got a nice win against Cincinnati in their opener, winning 5-4. And Pitt 8-0 against Cincinnati. They've been very good against the Reds here. 5-0 on the road against the Reds. And I think they're a good underdog again today here. And I'm going to take the Pirates plus 1.5. Next matchup, we got the Colorado Rockies versus the San Diego Padres. Padres opening up as home favorites at minus 230. The Rockies plus 190 with the over-under at 8.5. Colorado 2-0. Padres 0-2. Pitching for the Rockies is Jose Urena. Pitching for the Padres is Michael Wacha. Urena pitched twice last year against the Padres. Only gave up 4 runs. Wacha's last 3 starts, he's given up 5 total runs. And Colorado did it again. Back-to-back underdog wins. They've just been dominating the Padres 4-1, 7-2. It's going to be another year of not being able to trust the Padres, and we're seeing that right out the gate. Padres are going to be a team to probably take the underdog against a lot this season, the way we've seen it. They've had their best pitchers, Blake Snell and Martinez and stuff, already on the mound, and they've gotten kind of demolished so far. Yeah, give me Colorado plus 1.5 on the road here. Next matchup, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers opening up as home favorites at minus 260. Arizona plus 210 with the over-under at 8. Arizona 0-1. The Dodgers 1-0. Pitching for Arizona is Madison Bumgarner. Pitching for the Dodgers is Clayton Kershaw. Bumgarner pitched 3 times against LA last season. Gave up 9 runs. Kershaw pitched twice against Arizona, only allowed 1 run. And Dodgers, close win in their opener. Yeah, it was a close game in that matchup there. Oh yeah, this isn't updated. So they... yeah, this site I'm reading was definitely not updated. But yeah, Arizona did beat the Dodgers 2-1, and then the Dodgers won 8-2 in their opener. Yeah, the site was just lying to me. I knew they lost, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Dodgers will do that. They're kind of like a version of the Padres. They'll get their bad losses here, but love Kershaw on the mound, and love betting with him on the mound here. And Dodgers will bounce back here, and we're gonna take the Dodgers at home. Then the last matchup, we got the Cleveland Guardians versus Seattle Mariners. Seattle opening up as home favorites at minus 140. Cleveland plus 115 with the over-under at 7.5. Guardians, both teams are 1-1. Pitching for the Guardians is Aaron Savale. Pitching for the Mariners is Logan Gilbert. Savale pitched 1 time against Seattle last season, gave up 4 runs. Gilbert pitched 1 time. Pitched 1 time against Cleveland last season, only gave up 2 runs. And yeah, Cleveland hit very good yesterday, winning 9-4 against Seattle. You know, they really turned it on. And they are, still just 2-7 on the road against Seattle, 1-5 against Seattle. So I still like the Mariners at home, and I'm gonna roll with Seattle on this one. That's gonna be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Saturday. Hope you guys all cash out, and I'll see you guys Sunday. Have a good one.